Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to give my own thoughts on Halloween the game, which I believe is coming out in September sometime of 2026. The next big ASIM game, unless something slips out before then. Yeah, it's being developed by Ilphonic, and I think it's being published by Gun, who aren't everyone's favourite at the moment with what happened with Texas Chainsaw recently, the end of content, and obviously there was the whole lawsuit situation with Friday the 13th before that, also published by Gun. Anyway, as you can see in the video footage, I've been AFK as Johnny. I picked Johnny for this video because he's got a knife, much like Michael Myers' favourite weapon of choice. And this is just a quick game on Nancy's house. I think it's a pretty good win for the family. I think I get one kill, but it would be great to have some Halloween footage to play over what I'm saying, but I'm just capturing this on PlayStation 5, and that's where I do my recording and audio as well, so I don't have all the PC software at the moment to do videos like that. Anyway, back to Halloween the game. I do have one big concern, well, two big concerns actually. The first one is the music. Obviously iconic music, the main theme, and there's a couple of other themes as well which are really well recognised that I suspect will feature heavily in the game. Now, does this mean we're going to be hit with copyright strikes if we upload game footage? That's my biggest concern, because not copyright strikes, but copyright claims. So does it mean that you won't be able to monetize your Halloween videos if you've got the music set to on? I think we can all agree you're going to want those iconic themes playing while you're playing the game. You're not going to want to mute them. The reason this popped into my head is because I have used the themes in other videos in the past, and they do get claims straight away. So the only way I can see it not getting claimed is if they're variations on the theme, but I think it would be very hard to vary them enough for it not to be picked up. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that if you have any. I just think it's something that could be a problem for the game and the community that wants to share their footage. I'm not saying people are going to get copyright strikes for it. I don't think that will be the case. It will just be a notification that your video is being monetized by the content holder. So yeah, we just have to see how that plays out. And my other big concern is, so far we haven't heard anything about maps. Now with Friday the 13th, you had maps from different films. Texas Chainsaw, you only had maps technically from the first game, and then you had Nancy's house, which was a completely original map, and you had the graveyard, which was in the original map, and the mill as well, the gas station, stored house, and the family house. Obviously, I think they're all in the original movie. So where the problem comes with for Halloween the game is you've got Haddonfield, and if they are focusing on the first film, what are they going to do for other maps? Surely they're going to have to dive into the sequel maps pretty soon, even if they don't have the licenses for sequel maps. So for example, you'd want the hospital from Halloween 2, and I think you've got the asylum from Halloween 6, that may be somewhere. But apart from that, I don't know, what do you guys think about maps that could be possible for Halloween game? Let me know in the comments. So now, as it's Halloween when I'm uploading this video, I thought I would just talk a little bit about my favourite Halloween films, my history with the franchise. The movies I don't like, the movies I need to see again because I can't remember much about them. And I'm not going to rank them per se because it's really subjective. And to be honest, I would need to rewatch all the movies before I rank them all again. But one thing I do know is it's probably the first 4 movies I consider to be the best. I wouldn't say that's out of any sort of sense of nostalgia. I just feel like nothing touches the first 2 movies, personally, for the Michael Myers story, I think. Some days I prefer Halloween 2 over the first one. On other days I prefer the first one. They're kind of almost tied for me. I just think the hospital's a really creepy atmosphere for the second movie. A bit more tense than the first, but I can see why people prefer the first movie. The pacing is brilliant. The score is fantastic. Haddonfield is a great backdrop. Jamie Lee Curtis's performance is better because she's not mute in the first film. Yeah, so the first 2 movies I think are tied for me, right at the top. And then I would have to put Halloween 3 probably as the third one. I just think it's a second. I just think it's a brilliant underrated B movie. I would almost call it a B movie that just happens to be part of the Halloween franchise, and it's got such a dark ending as well. Such a catchy song that all the kids are supposed to die when they hear, and yeah, I just like the soundtrack in general. I seem to remember it was quite synth based, but I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and watch it again. It's been a few years. Obviously, you got the Silver Shamrock Company, Evil Toy Company. I seem to remember an animatronic hand, a bit reminiscent of the Addams Family. So it had a lot going for it, that film. All the the employees of the company that are actually robots, and they spew out some sort of goo when they're injured. Yeah, strange movie, but one I really enjoyed, and it's interesting to think what would have happened if they'd carried on with the anthology idea, but I agree it was probably better to go back to the Michael Myers story overall, because he's such an iconic villain. And then I would have to say Halloween 4. There's a few reasons I like Halloween 4. The intro to that movie is from memory excellent. Really captures autumn really well. I believe Slash and Cast point that out in one of their ranking videos. And I also like the ending is just brilliant. I mean, it's pretty much an homage to the first film. It goes back to the first film, but it's obviously it's what Jamie Lloyd does at the end of the film that sticks in the memory. After everything she goes through in that movie, yeah, it sticks in your head anyway, even if it's a bit possibly far-fetched. And then after the fourth one, I don't know, to be honest. I don't really like Halloween 5 much. I don't like Halloween 6 much. These are films I haven't seen for a long time. I can't remember much about H2O. I just remember it being very 90s, very sort of self-aware, Scream-like in the way it was done. It was around that time, wasn't it? I think 98, so probably around the time of Scream 3, Scream 2, Scream 3, I think. And then I just rewatched Halloween Resurrection to see if it was as bad as I remembered. It wasn't a great movie. It's watchable. It's probably not the worst film. I think the worst for a lot of people is either Halloween Ends or Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie version. I didn't actually mind the first Rob Zombie Halloween, but it's kind of weird going into Michael Myers' childhood. It's it's sort of best left unseen in a way, but it added an interesting new angle to the movie, I guess. And one thing though is you can't really have any warmth for Dr. Loomis from the Rob Zombie Halloween films. There's something about Pleasance that was likeable, even though he was absolutely fixated on the Myers case. You were still rooting for him. I'm not so sure that's true with Dr. Loomis in the zombie Halloween films, but let me know if you disagree. Maybe that's just my take on it. I just found him a bit unlikable, and I think that was intentional, but I could be wrong. And what other movies have we got? I quite like Halloween 2018. Quite like that movie. Halloween Kills is quite a good popcorn horror film, I suppose. And obviously the overuse of the Evil Dies Tonight tagline. We all knew it wasn't true, so why even use it? And am I missing any? I think that's it. I think I've covered them all. A couple more things about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. The White Horse, obviously. Get that out of the movie. You've instantly got a slightly better movie. But it's also, I've not seen anyone point this out, but I think it's probably the most misogynistic of all the Halloween films. I just remember most of the really nasty deaths seem to be centred around the women characters and just inflicting as much pain on them as possible. And I do wonder if that's something deliberate by Rob Zombie, and if he knew he was doing it. Again, maybe I'm wrong on this. Just going back to Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2, something I liked a lot about that movie was the way it picks up right after the events of Halloween 1. I love that about that film, just the fact you're still the same night, and one day it would be really cool to see both those movies on the big screen, back to back, Imagine coming out after 4 hours of Halloween, just feeling like you've just watched one continuous night almost in real time, Not quite real time, obviously, because of the run length of the films, but I always like that about the second movie, even if they did
it actually worked.
Throw a curveball by making, Jamie Lee Curtis related to Michael in the second one. And I don't know, maybe even show the first 3 movies in the cinema. That would be awesome. In the UK, we don't really have drive-in cinemas, but that would be absolutely awesome to see the first 3 at a drive-in movie theatre. But yeah, can't think of much else to say about the movies. I'm going to rewatch them all in the run-up to the game being released, just so that I can hopefully spot quite a few Easter eggs in the game, which I'm sure are going to be popping up. And let me know your favourite Halloween movies. Rank them if you want, if you've got a ranking, which is the worst, which is the best. Yeah, and what are you going to be watching this Halloween? Is it going to be a Halloween movie specifically, or just a general horror film or horror films? Yeah, that'd be good to know. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed me rambling. As you can see, I've just been playing random clips from Friday the 13th, the game. I've still got quite a few clips saved on my hard drive from before the game shut down, so I'm going to be uploading matches periodically. There's actually free Friday the 13th in 2026, so I'll make sure I do something special for those days. And I've got so many Friday the 13th videos already on my channel. Jason and Counsellor matches from online games. I've got music videos I made. I've got all the kills in the game. I've got videos featuring every single kill in the game for every Jason. And I only played the official version of the game, by the way, so but I did have Savini Jason, so I've got a lot of Savini Jason footage. And there is one video that's nearly at 1 million views. It's a Savini Jason all cinematic kills, I think, and it would have hit 1 million views already, but at some point it got age restricted, and that meant it kind of got hidden, you know, in YouTube search a bit. I think you can still search for it, but if you know, parental controls really took their toll on that one, and I can understand, you know, why they wanted to, because they are quite cinematic, quite horrific kills, some of them, but it would be lovely to see that get 1 million views at some point. But if you want to search for it, do, but I'm not going to put the link because I don't think it lets you put in links that are age restricted, so yeah. Anyway, sorry, this was a video about Halloween the game. I am going to be covering it a lot on my channel. Hopefully take some time off around the time of release. I'll try and do some commentary videos, as well as non-commentary. We'll see how it goes. I can't yet tell if people prefer me talking in my videos or not. I don't do it often enough, so but yeah, I just really wanted to address my concerns and just say how I'm looking forward to the game, and you know, just give a few thoughts on Halloween as a franchise. Yeah, it's great. It's a great franchise, but they're not. There's a few movies that aren't very rewatchable, I'd say. Anyway, I am rambling, so I am going to stop right away and play the outro. Thank you for watching.